Today I'll be presenting an overview of Nidavellir, a game by Serge Laguette and French publisher Grrr Games that has previously released 3 tiny games like Octorage and Super Cats that has gone big with this design. It's a bidding and army building game in which you are going to increase the value of your money over time, which is going to help you bid more and which will also bring you points at the end. So you're going to bid for the best dwarves to build up an army to fight the dragon Fafnir. Nidavellir is the name of the homeland of the dwarves in Norse mythology, and you are one of the Elvalands, one of the leaders of that area, and you are trying to build up an army, so you'll be chosen to go fight for the honor of defeating Fafnir, which is outside the course of the game. All you care about in this game is building up your army. Everything after that is left to your imagination. Maybe you die and everyone else is very happy because they stayed home. They can console themselves in that way. They lost the game, but they won the war by you not winning the war and them laughing at you. I'm not exactly sure how that all plays out in the end, but let me give you an overview of Nidavellir. Here are the components of Nidavellir. It's a lot to consider at first glance, and the game comes with a 24-page rulebook, which seems imposing. But once you get into it, the game is fairly straightforward, and you'll discover that 5 pages of those rules discuss the biographies of the heroes that you can acquire during the game, things you can skip over in terms of learning how the game works, but of interest as you get further into the mythology behind the game. You have a score pad, set that aside. You have heroes that you do not use in the first game because they're somewhat more involved than regular heroes. You have cards for the first and second ages of the game. If you're playing with fewer than 5 players, set aside the cards with number 5 on it. Set aside the age 2 deck for now, since you'll begin in age 1. You have gems. You give 1 gem to each player. So in a 4-player game, we use 2 through 5. Set aside the 1. These items are used after the first age. Each player gets a board that they put in front of them, as well as a set of 5 coins that are numbered 0, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You are going to use these coins to bid on cards in these 3 taverns that you will visit during each age. Each age lasts 3 or 4 turns, depending on the number of players in the game. With 2 and 3 players, you go 4 turns. With 4 and 5, only 3 turns. You have the deck of age 1 cards, and you turn up as many cards as the number of players in the game. So at each tavern, there will be 1 card available for each player. Oh, let me push this down a little so we can fit everyone on camera. This game is a bit of a table hog. You can set aside these cards. You don't need them in your camera shot, probably because you will not be recording your play session. But in case you are, you can set them aside for now. I'll leave them there for you to look at, along with this money rack here of fabulous coins that range in value from 5 to 25. This is what you're going to try to upgrade your own coins to during the game, and you keep this bank available so that you can see which coins have already been claimed by other people. Now, that's somewhat important, but to make things easier for you actually seeing what I'm doing, I will set that aside and put my player board over here. Each round, or each turn, you're going to look at the cards available. You're going to look at the coins that you have. You're always going to have 5 coins, but their values might change as you upgrade them. You're going to see what you can get. There are 5 ranks, 5 types of dwarves available. Let's put out all 5 here. So we have some miners and hunters. We have warriors, artisans, and someone else who I can't remember. So blacksmiths. There we go. You are going to be recruiting them and placing them next to your board to keep track of what you have collected. So you are going to place the numbers down on the board. So in this tavern here, I want to bid this coin, and we'll bid this one, and we're done. Actually, then we'll switch these 2. Yes, for strategic purposes, although of course you don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm going to have one of the 4 gems at random given to me, and that is placed at the top of my board. So this 5 means I have the highest number, so I will win ties initially when we are going to taverns if someone bids the same thing as me. Once everyone has placed their bids, we all reveal our top number. Whoever has bid the most will take a card first. If there's a tie, then the player with the highest gem goes first, and you go down in gem order, then the people who have bid 4, then people who bid 3 and 2 and 0. Whatever I take, I'm going to put next to my board. This is the only warrior here, so let me go ahead and take that. Everyone else is going to take a card. If someone else tied with me, I'm going to switch gems with that person, so then I will have the low bid in the future, and there's a trading system that all makes sense where, of course, people swap from high to low with the gems. It's explained in a somewhat elaborate, over-involved manner, but it all makes sense if you played games before. On the next turn, I bid 0. Yes, I'm going to go last. I also have the lowest tiebreaker, so I will get whatever thing is left. Let's say it's this one. I would add that to my army. And when you bid 0, you get to transform the 2 coins that are left in your pouch, the coins you did not use. I sum those coins, 6. I take a 6 from the bank rack and add that to my collection, and I get rid of the highest coin, removing it from the game if it's a brown coin, adding it back to the rack if it's a gold coin. So now I've upgraded my holdings for future rounds. And the third round, I bid a 3. I'm going to get something out of here. Let's say I get this. And then we have more ages where I start with my coins, my new upgraded value, which depends on what other people have taken, whether that will be the high number in play or not. We lay out more cards and we continue drafting cards and adding them to our collection. If we get a type of card that we already have, we just overlap it. If you get something else, you lay it out on the side until you have all 5 types of dwarves. And as soon as you get all 5 types, the instance that you put that there, depending on whichever tavern it comes from, you are going to draft one of the heroes and add it to your collection. So as soon as you have all 5 types, draft a hero and add it. They all have different abilities, different scoring, different ranks. You'll notice some of them have multiple ranks on them, which is going to be valuable for scoring. You add that to your collection, and then you continue. The next time that I get a collection of 2 or more 2 ranks on everything, I get another hero. If you draft one of these heroes that has black, that is not one of the colored ones, it goes off on the other side here. It doesn't add to my army, but it does give me points at the end of the game. So you're trying to build up complete sets in order to draft the heroes to get bonus points, but you also want to specialize within each type because that will give you more points at the end of the game. How that works, with the green and purple, you have this chart here. The green is worth as many green hunters that you have multiplied by itself. So right now I have 4 points in hunters. Obviously I want to get a ton of those to get the most points possible, but so does everyone else. Purple, you get points, 3 points for the first rank, 4 for the next, 5 for the next, and so on. It's got a handy sum here of what you're getting. So I'm getting 12 points so far off of these 3 ranks. One card has 2 ranks. All right, you can double up that way. So, of course, you want tons of purple. The more purple you get, the more valuable the later ones are. Same as with the green. That is also true with the orange. With the orange, you multiply the sum of the values, which is usually not much. They often are zeros, but every so often you'll get 2s and 1s as well. And you multiply the sum of these values by the number of ranks that you have. So in this case, 2 times 3, 6 points. Not much, but if you get one of the orange heroes that has 3 ranks on it, or just 1 rank with the number 3, you can really boost the value of that. The blue ones are just the sum of the numbers there. They typically have higher numbers than all the other colors. So you just want lots of blue that have high value on them. The red, same thing. You add up the value. However, whoever has the most ranks at the end of the game gets to add their highest coin as points. And you can get up to 25 on the coin value, so that can give you a huge boost in the score, which makes you want to get lots of ranks in the Warriors. So you want everything. You want sets and you want depth, as in all types of games. At the end of the first age, to give you further incentive in what to draft, you are going to look at each of the 5 types of dwarves, and someone may be awarded a mark of distinction based on their ability to specialize in particular areas. If I have more ranks of warriors than any other player, then I get this card, which, let me start at the other end. Then I get this card, which immediately allows me to take one of my coins and add 5 to it. So I could throw my 2 away and get a 7 instead. And I'll have that for the rest of the game, which of course maybe I want to transform these in the future and make it 13. Why do I want only 7 when I can have 13? And so on, because at the end of the game, you score points equal to the sum of your coins. So you want to boost the coins at the same time that you're boosting the rank, but to do so, you must bid with a 0, which means you're going to be choosing last at one of the taverns. After you see who has the most warriors, you are checking for hunters. Whoever gets this changes their 0 bid for a 3 bid. So you can probably beat others even when they're transforming their coins. You have the miners here. You get rid of whatever gem you have, and you get this 6 gem that lets you break ties in your favor in the future, in addition to being worth 3 points and will never be traded away. The purple one lets you draft this one, which gives you 2 more ranks, so lots of points, and will possibly helping you get heroes if you complete a set of 5 across. Finally, the blue one, you look at the top 3 cards of the Age 2 deck, and you keep one of them, shuffling the others back into the deck. So it gives you an additional card to get you something. One of the possible things you can get at a tavern instead of one of the dwarves is a transformation card, which lets you add 5 to one of your coins, whether it's been used or not yet in the round. So you can essentially get 5 points and have better bidding opportunities in future turns. There's a quick overview of Nidavellir, which I played twice on a review copy from BlackRock Games, which distributes titles for Gur Games in France and elsewhere. I have played both of my games with 2 players, which I realize is not ideal for a bidding game that goes from 2 to 5 players. However, the game is debuting at FIJ 2020, and I thought it'd be timely to talk about the game now, since it's available, but most people have not yet heard of it. So the game is fairly straightforward, despite the giant rule book. Bid and draft, bid and draft, bid and draft, transform your coins to something better, and then do more bidding and drafting. You have the rank of distinction cards handed out at the end of the first age, and then you carry on through more bidding and drafting. There you go. And then add up your points. All the colors are added up based on what I talked about, the purple and green based on how many levels down you go on your board. You multiply the orange, you add the blue and the red, maybe you add your top coin, maybe you don't. You add up the sum of all your coins. Great. You want to upgrade those as high as you can as well, and whoever has the most points wins. We played twice. Winning score in each of those games was around 300, 320. That's a lot of points that you're summing up over time. But of course, the game will change dramatically with more players. This is why I'm a little disappointed to talk about this, having only played twice with 2 players. But again, let me talk about what I know rather than wait forever and then not do any videos and not talk about anything, right? It's hard sometimes doing this type of stuff. The game is fairly straightforward, but of course, it's very different with 2 because it is somewhat easier to get what you want, because there's always going to be 3 cards in each tavern, even with 2 players. So at worst, you're going to get one of 2 things that are left behind. So you don't worry so much about what you're putting a 0 bid on. You want to transform your coins every single turn because that will increase the value of your money, and you'll still get something. Once you get up to 4 and 5 players, you probably want to avoid that sometimes because you might not want the last choice out of 5 unless for some reason you just don't care. You might have a flip where all the cards come up and they're all green and you want a green and you're like, oh, well, then at that point I don't care. We got that a couple times with 2 players. With 4 and 5 players, that's probably not going to happen so much. Just based on how things are dealt randomly. And there's going to be a lot more competition for things to let you complete the set of 5 in order to get heroes. In addition, you will just get fewer cards. With 2 and 3 players, you play 2 ages, 4 turns each age, with 3 taverns that you're visiting. So that's 24 cards that you're going to acquire. And then you acquire heroes based on how well you complete those ranks. With 4 and 5 players, 2 ages, 3 taverns, but only 3 turns, and that's 18 cards, which means it'll probably be harder to complete those levels and get those heroes. It'll be much tighter competition for those particular cards, because if you need a warrior and there's only a couple of warriors in a particular turn, well, other people might outbid you, and you got to pay a lot more attention to who has the top bidding and what coins people have and who's going where and doing what, and all the sorts of details that in a 2-player game somewhat disappear. Right? You can still take the thing the other person wants, but you can't deny them everything usually, because there's an extra card at each tavern. So, little details to watch out for. You generally don't need the rule book, because I've talked about everything. The only thing you might need from this point is the details of some of the heroes, such as this blue hero that you can draft only if you already have 5 ranks of blue. If you do that, then you get this, which is 20 points, which is a lot for a hero. Or these, which give you 3 ranks, and the purple and the green, again, however many ranks you have, that's the bonus. If I end up having 8 green, that's 64 points. And another one on top of that, 9 ranks, is 81 points. So you're getting more and more points for each rank. So this is a great card to have, as is this. Slightly less good just because green doubles, and this just adds +6, +7, +8, and so on. However, you have to throw away dwarves in your army when you take this one. So you throw away 1, you throw away 2. They have to be from other colors. You can't throw away heroes. And then you have to replace them before you can even get new heroes. I thought we'd be able to throw away one of my dwarves. I only had 1 blue. I throw it away, I get another blue, and I get another hero. It doesn't work that way. No, you have to build back up. However many ranks you have, that's at most how many heroes you can have. And so if I have 2 heroes already, I need to build to a 3rd level of ranks all the way across in order to get a 3rd hero, and so on. Little details there, but otherwise the game is straightforward, works really well, and is really challenging. I'm curious to see how it's going to work with more people. It's going to be more Elvalans fighting for the honor of going to fight Fafnir or be killed by Fafnir. No, defeat Fafnir. Yes, be positive. I will win honor, at least by winning this game.